Hi everyone, my name's Anthony Cummins, and do you like old stones? Now here's the difference, are you American and you've looked back at, megalithic and Neolithic Britain or Europe and looked at the standing stones there and compared them to anything you've got over there, any of the old, archaeology do there from the indigenous people in America? Well, there's a new book come out by the same publisher that I do, so they've kindly sent me a review copy and I'm going to make this video. So it's called The Old Stones. Now, it's based by the Megalithic Portal. Now, I'll put their website here. Now, they, of course, are a community that come together to study stone circles. And this book is a chunky book, paperback, but, we can't help that. We're in the world where, we've got to cut down on costs. But it isn't a full colour book, so it's a little bit expensive to buy, but on Amazon they normally give you a discount. However, let me try and get you for this, guys. It is full colour and it is chocked full of information. And you can see the different colours of the different areas, and it's got everything from folklore, dimensions, audience survey points, maps. It's got everything there. But what I want to do, instead of going through that, I'm going to pull out a few different bits. Now, as I say, please support this book because it's by my publisher and we want them to keep publishing and we want them to keep taking our stuff as well. So do get a copy if you know it would be a good Christmas present for someone or a good birthday present for someone. So what I'll do is go through some of the more interesting bits. The picture is Tinks Wood. Now this one is said that if you spend the night there on May Day or around May Day and you're there overnight when the moon is out and the clouds are there, you will go insane and you'll become crazy, or you'll become a poet. Probably the same thing, to be fair, but you know what I mean. So if you spend the night here, you're gonna go crackers. Then there's Granny Kempok, I think is the correct way to say it. And if you're going to go on a sea voyage, so you've got to imagine all the old sailors. There's a term in England, it's when ships were made of wood and men were made of iron. Do you know what I mean? In the old days when they used to go sailing out at sea and do the Chinese tea clipper races and all that. Apparently you go to this stone for good luck on a sea voyage. Now, to do this, you'd have to chant a special chant to get the luck to come to you. But also, married couples or people who are about to be married, no, I think just married couples would, once they've been married, come to the stone and do a similar sort of thing by going round it, and they would get a blessing for their marriage from the ancient gods. I don't know who gives the blessing, but the stones themselves give the marriage power, which is crazy seeing as it's a Christian thing, but you've got a pagan stone set giving the Christian ritual power. Then Swinside, which here it says that they couldn't build a church there because the devil would interrupt the building. So every time they tried to build something, it would fall down or something like that, and it was the devil's fault. Because obviously the devil resides in ancient pagan sections and they couldn't build a church nearby. There's quite a few of those legends in the UK actually where, the dragon of the Saxons or whatever was messing about with the foundations of this. It happens in the Merlin and those cycles. So it's quite interesting actually. Now this one I don't know how to pronounce it, Cladath-Hallan I think, but here's the info for it. But this is gruesome. So we talk about mummified remains or remains of people put together. What a lot of people don't realise is that there used to be in Neolithic Britain a lot of dismemberment. So and tombs together where you would change things around. So sometimes you go into a tomb and it's like skulls on the left, femurs on the right, knuckle bones straight ahead. You know what I mean? Aisle 2, shop smart, shop S smart. Name that film. Name the film in the comments. If you can't, you lead a sad life. So basically this, I'll get back to it, this one thing here, it has a body that was found and made up of different people. So the body was put together and entombed, but it was a jaw from someone else, a head from someone else, and they'd collected, probably like the ancestor, and built together this golem-esque power creature. Nobody knows why really, but that's interesting. If you look on page 95, it's actually got a list of all the pieces of music in our world that are based on stone circles. So it goes through the different songs, the different symphonies, and everything that quotes or inside of the song is referenced to a stone circle. Now for those in America, there's actually a list here of the different stones that end up in urban sites. So it's strange. I had Japanese friends come over and American friends, and they get in, they're like, everything's so old. Like this house alone, my house is almost 200 years old, and it's not that old to be honest. most people live in at least a house 100 years old, some live in 300-400 years old, and you get people who live in really old houses here. But the different thing here is that these stones are so common that basically you actually find them in the middle of housing estates, or you'll find them and you look randomly like, Even Stonehenge has a road going right past it in the stone circle, because in the old days they just had a track going. Eventually it gets changed into a road, then it gets changed into a semi-motorway or a highway if you like, and they literally just bang on through stone circles. One of my favourite is Avebury, where you actually go there and there's a house, there's the most gorgeous, I'm not going to say housing estate, there's the most gorgeous and expensive set of houses just randomly in the middle of a stone circle, and you're like, But they're everywhere in the UK. There's even one right near my house, but I've yet to go find it. It's up in a hill somewhere. I'm going to leave you with the shadow theory. And some people from the Megaliths portal have actually said that there's a theory about the shadow casting. So it's not the stones themselves. Now, most people believe these stones are actually ancestor worship, i.e. that they're put there to represent this ancestor, and they come together and say, okay, this is this person, this is that person. A lot of people, of course, think they have astronomical connections, which of course many of them do, but there's also chamber tombs which have all the different pieces of bones in, like I said. But there's one theory called shadow theory. It says they're made because of the shadows they cast. So there's one example here in the book where it talks about the longest shadow that's cast by it on a certain day. It's the longest one in the UK and it reaches far down. Or they say that sometimes they look at the shadows cast throughout the year. Now, the thing about stones is nobody really knows. And I did an archaeology degree and a master's degree in Neolithic studies, basically. So I did loads of this stuff, and it is crazy. People are like, what do we have? Literally nothing. You know, and they have to sort of then come up with ideas of what they possibly use for based on the minimum evidence they have. However, please do, if you know anybody who's into old stones, you know anybody who's into Neolithic, megalithic history, or you know somebody who just wants to know about old things in the UK, then do buy it. It's The Old Stones by Watkins, and a field guide to the megalithic sites of Britain and Ireland, and it's forwarded by Mike Parker Pearson, who actually I used to watch him in seminars when I was they used to go to the different seminars when I was doing archaeology, which is bizarre. So things come round and round. So I'll put a link below for a copy for the US site. UK people, go find it on Amazon. Right guys, thank you very much. Support Watkins and support ancient history.